Recommendation begins with you proving the value of Dex Media and building your client's belief that we deliver results. It begins with you telling our value story and what makes us different from our competition. With Press Pro, you can show and tell how we build their customized solution. With confidence and passion, you present your recommendation, tying it back to what is discussed in the previous steps of the sales call. Identifying each product, what it means to them, and how it will help them thrive and grow in today's marketplace. And lastly, you'll gain agreement on your recommendation. So based on my homework and our previous conversations and the way you answered this, we really like to kind of provide lots of different choices, distilled down to 3 distinct families as it relates to how's the best way to market your business in 2016 as we turn the calendar in 17. And that's really 3 simple ways: presence, engagement, and leads. So presence is just making sure that from a digital standpoint that you're really available, kind of when, where, and how people look, but not just on your mobile phone, but also on different platforms. Secondly is engagement. Do you have a way, are you leveraging technology and software in a way to kind of automate some of that so you can engage your existing customers, maybe ask for referrals, or on the other way, make it engaging for a consumer when they find you to do things like schedule an appointment. And then lastly is just kind of the tried and true way of growing a business, and that's bringing new customers into your business. And really those are the 3 opportunities I like to really kind of pare down as we move forward. Any questions?
Okay. No.
Good. All right, good. So before I get to the specific recommendation, kind of based on what you shared with me, and again, I do appreciate the time. I think I got a really good handle on things. I really want to talk a little bit about kind of what's happening and how by partnering with Dex Media really helps you. And kind of as we outlined and as you've really kind of shared with me, it's just simply not a fair fight out there, right? These national and regional players, again, the Sherwin-Williams of the world, they're just taking market share from the local business owner. And by partnering with Dex Media, really is our job here is to really level the playing field, to really make it a fair fight. It's that simple. It's kind of, it's you against these massive marketing teams to be able to compete in a landscape that's just rapidly changing and highly technical. So by partnering with us is really what we want to do is just simply level the playing field. And we do that in 3 simple ways. We provide a custom solution, we provide tremendous dedicated service, and we give you the results because we're very, very proud of them. So first, let's talk a little bit about this custom solution looks like. The reason why I ask you, I ask those questions and have a really good understanding is we want to provide to you a custom solution that's relative to Hoffman painting, right? No one else. We know every business has a different set of needs, so what I'm recommending is going to be built based upon your needs specifically. A part of that as well is to help you protect what you've worked so hard to earn, right? Kind of protect those existing customers and help you engage them consistently, right? So, and because the landscape is changed so drastically and consumers are the ones that are kind of ultimately in control, is we want to make it very easy for you to engage those consumers, whether it be really any time of the day on any platform, right? Any device, whether it be a mobile phone or an iPad or a computer, or via social media or via text. And that really helps you protect your existing customer base. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Good. Another way we want to do is make sure that you have that strong brand. You're already working on that with having those wrap trucks and making sure that you have a sign in the yard of the neighborhoods of what you're working in. But there's so much opportunity out there when someone finds you on an iPad, again, or on their mobile device, or maybe even on Facebook, right? To make sure that you have a consistent brand. Every single time you find Sherwin-Williams, online, it looks exactly the same. Does that make you follow me?
Their branding, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, what we do as it relates to when you're ready to grow your business, it sounds like you're in a position to do so, is we take a really, really smart and intelligent way to help local businesses grow. So really, bring on new customers. And Brooke, I know we've talked over the last couple of weeks. I know that you have a couple of kids. So I'm really going to kind of explain what that means to you in the analogy of a little story around cupcakes. So I'm assuming, being a mom and having children, that you've had to buy cupcakes for maybe a birthday party or something like that. Does that make sense?
I have, yes.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. So let's just assume, for the story's sake, that you have to buy 16 cupcakes. And you can see on your screen you have 3 choices here, 3 places at which you can go buy relatively expensive cupcakes. We recognize they are. Now, with that being said, assuming all of these cupcakes are exactly the same, and you need 16, where would you go first to buy those 16 cupcakes?
Well, I want them from the $9
Yep.
Which are expensive cupcakes, Joe.
Yeah, they are pretty expensive, but for the point of the story here, just kind of bear along. And once you go to that $9 stand, wouldn't it make sense that you'd buy as many of those as you possibly can?
Absolutely.
Yep. So you go to that stand, there's only 5 left, so you obviously going to gobble all of those up. Now you need 11 more, and then where would you go next?
The 25.
There you go, right? So, and again, same logic, you'd buy as many of those as you possibly could. And there's 6 there, so you have 5 left, so I could probably left to assume as a last resort, right, you'd be buying $50 cupcakes.
I guess if I had to, yes.
Yep, yeah, you don't want to disappoint, right, the daughter. So that's the same approach that we take to lead. See, here at Dex Media, we have our own operated platforms that really provide the most cost-effective leads in the marketplace, and really, we're the only ones that have access to them. So the reason why I share that, again, is it's valuable to understand that, you know, it is a big differentiator for us that we can offer you that no one else can offer, and that's access to the most cost-effective leads in the marketplace. All right. And we talked a little bit about service. So this is a huge differentiator, and you know, from my existing clients, they absolutely love it. What we'll be providing you is a dedicated campaign manager, right? And that campaign manager really is your champion. They're teaching you how to use all of these tools, right? The software that helps you engage with customers, and you're going to be chatting with them about social media, and they're going to help you understand what's being said about you online with all of the places that reviews can be put out there. They're going to be centralized in one place for you. So you said that you were very, very busy. You got a lot of things going on, and your campaign manager is your expert. Really is a direct extension of a marketing department for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Right, and you're going to be you have access to them really kind of any time, and then they'll also be proactively calling you to ensure that you have a really good understanding of how things are working and what changes and updates that need to be made as time goes on. And then lastly is our real-time results. You'll be able to provide the results that we deliver to you really at any platform. iPad, we have an app that you'll be able to download. So you'll be able to get a hold of me with the click of a button, get a hold of your campaign manager with the click of a button, be able to pay your bill, be able to see all of your results, all really in the palm of your hand. And we make that transparency very simple because we're proud of them, right? And really what we want to do, again, by partnering with us is help you take back the market share that frankly is rightfully yours, that just you're really not in a position to be able to take. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Good. So any questions up to this point before I get into the recommendation?
No. So what are we looking at here?
Good. Yep. So again, just to recap, again, very simply put, we're going to focus on building you a really good presence that's relative to 2016 and 2017.
Okay.
Put a nice little cool engine in place to help you engage with those existing customers, and then start really growing your business by attracting the type of customers that you're looking for. Right, and it all sits on the foundation of service. As I mentioned, you're going to have regular calls from your campaign manager to go over your results. They're going to be able to help teach you and be your champion on monitoring how well things are working, updates any specials that you may have, or maybe there's a specific market that you want to go after. They'll be there with you every single step of the way. All right. And then the first product included in that is going to be what we call Dex Link, and ultimately that is your really communication software. It's going to help you build a digital customer list that once that list is established, you'll be able to segment them. You'll be able to follow up with them, really increasing the lifetime value of your customers. You can maybe shoot out, for example, you could shoot out a text or an email for a customer that you've done business with the last quarter and offering them up a little something for a referral, folks in your neighborhood, things like that. Helps you keep top of mind on a consistent basis. Does that make sense?
It does. It's kind of neat.
Good. Then we're really going to focus on, at this point, growing your business. And it's all going to start with Internet Yellow Pages. Have you ever heard of Internet Yellow Pages or heard of DexKnows.com?
I think I've heard of DexKnows.com, but you're talking about like Yellow Pages, literally Yellow Pages online?
Yeah, basically it's it's not just our own property. So we have DexKnows.com as well as superpages.com, but there's also a greater network out there. And really what that does is target you, so YP.com may be another one that you could be familiar with. It really helps grow your business by targeting those ready-to-buy consumers. So when someone lands on that, they're a little bit farther along that decision chain, right? And so they're pretty much already decided, I'm not going to be doing this myself. They're not in the process of researching. They're a ready-to-buy customer, and you're really reaching them on the platforms in which those folks are looking, right? And I know it's a little bit difficult to kind of explain kind of virtually, if you will. So I kind of brought this up. Are you familiar with with the search result page of Google? I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so the value of Internet Yellow Pages, very simply put, there's two ways to get on a search result page, and that's for Google. Pay your way to get there, and you said you've tried that before in the past, before you were kind of part of this, and it wasn't very a great experience to say the least. And then show up organically, okay? So paying your way to get there seems to be very, very expensive because there's a lot of competition. But to show up in the maps in the organic section, this is where the direct to local businesses internet directories, this is where IYP will show up in this organic section. Okay, so you have really two ways. You can kind of buy a ticket and ride the elevator for us and all the work that we're doing to get up to the top there, or do that process yourself, which takes months and months. Does that help better align what IYP will do for you?
Yeah, it makes sense. I always kind of wondered how certain people, I mean, it sounds like there's a strategy to getting there as well.
Yes, there is. There is. And for someone like you, I think kind of based on what your needs are, IYP is really the best way to go because number one, if you were to do that yourself, it's going to take you a minimum 6 to 8 months. All the meanwhile is just market shares being taken because you're not there. So it just makes a lot more sense to just invest in this specific product that helps you and gives you prominent placement on multiple sites and gets you higher up in that search result.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, good. And then the second way I'm recommending that you grow your business is print Yellow Pages. So let me give you your thoughts there because I have this conversation quite often. So I want to get your thoughts on the traditional Yellow Pages.
I don't think anyone uses the Yellow Pages anymore, Joe.
Well, you know what? You're not alone. And the reality is the number of people that used it 20 years ago is definitely not the same as it is today. But I think what's important to take a look at is not so much who's not using it, but who is using it. Now, you shared with me that your, excuse me, that your ideal customer really is that established homeowner in kind of that residential use. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm recommending it, Brooke, is because I took a look at some data that we have. Now, we have this information from Market Authority, and Market Authority is the equivalent of the Nielsen ratings for local search. Are you familiar with the Nielsen ratings?
Yeah, I've heard of
Yes.
Nielsen. Mm-hmm.
So Market Authority, their whole purpose is to analyze how the population looks for local information. And so I picked this up in your backyard. Again, I just want to be as transparent as possible. And the reason why I'm recommending it is very, very simple. Your target market is 55 and above, right, in Spokane. So for home-related businesses in Spokane, the first search preference is the printed phone book. So 7 out of 10 people in your age demographic pick up the phone book first before they look at anything else.
That seems, I mean, quite frankly, that's unbelievable to me.
And to me, it's not unbelievable simply because I work in this industry. But what I think you need to be thinking about is number one, this is for Spokane. These numbers are vastly different. Spokane for home-related businesses. I want to make sure those two things are clear. These numbers are different, and the behavior is different than that in Seattle, as it is in Denver, as it is in Colorado Springs, as it is in Boise. So this is unique to Spokane in your specific market. And I frankly would not be doing due diligence or doing my job if I didn't recommend this, because 7 out of 10 people in your demographic pick up the phone book before they look at anything else.
Wow.
Yep. Any other questions?
No, it just really takes me by surprise. But
well, keep in mind, again, the folks that use this are the ones that grew up on it, right? It delivers a very valuable return on investment. And the only reason that someone picks up the Yellow Pages is they're not researching. They've already made the decision for someone to come and paint their house, and they're looking for someone that's credible, that has a great message that really can get you in front of them. So I know it's kind of hard to believe, but the reality is now is the time to take advantage of that, because the perception is a lot of people just don't use it anymore. And at least for this year, right, this is kind of where we are. 3 years from now, that number may not be 7 out of 10, it may be 4 out of 10. In fact, you go back 4 years and it was different. So we recognize it's declining, but you take a look at what the value is this year, it'd be silly not to really invest in that.
Okay.
Okay. And then lastly is Dex Hub. And Dex Hub is the kind of coup de grace, if you will. It puts all of this, it's a very slick integrated marketing platform, right? That's kind of fancy business speak. But what it does is just put all of this software and technology into one place. So it has the ability, again, it starts with DexLink, having that customer list and having the engine to be able to communicate with them. All right. It also takes all of the reviews. You shared with me that your word of mouth and repeat and referral business is vital to any local business, so you're definitely not unique there. Have you ever been influenced by a review that you read online?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the reality is there's all kinds of places where consumers can put reviews, both negative and positive. A huge value of this is it really scrapes the web and puts all of the reviews for your specific business in one place. I'm going to kind of go back. So that's just one very simple thing, but hyper valuable. It also aligns in making sure that you're on the local sites for Google, for example, and Yahoo and Bing and multiple other sites. So you'll be able to show up in that map section that's available. And then it also handles all of your social media for you as well. So again, a completely integrated solution to really provide what you're looking for. And then, lastly, I'd be mistaken if I didn't share with you the website that we'll be able to build for you. I know you're kind of in this process. So here's an example of a fence contractor down in Florida that we've built. So this is a simple website that comes with Hub that we will build for you. We'll build it together.
Okay.
Okay. So.
And that would be, customized, obviously, with different colors and things like that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll have a dedicated campaign manager as well as a website designer that you'll work with one-on-one. Does that make sense? And I'll tell you, the more you are engaged with this campaign manager and in effect your own little marketing department, the better results you're going to get, because we really want to do this with you. We can't do it for you, and we've recognized that because that just creates a disconnect. And you shared with me you just don't have the time and don't even frankly know where to quite start with all this stuff. So.
No, and it is really important to me that our site looks different than everybody else's. And, when we actually get one up and running, I want it to look good.
Yep. No, this site is absolutely, it's copyrighted, it's not templated, it is, not only does it look fantastic, but it's adaptive and responsive. Remember that technology we were talking about? So however any consumer finds it, it's going to show up accordingly.
Okay.
Right? And then just to drive home that this entire solution is really wrapped in the cloak of service. It's a massive differentiator, and my clients that I work with absolutely love the fact that they have someone on call to help them through this, and then that we proactively call them.